This is probably the latest, the most recent Chinese mobile game market update that you're going to see. And I was reluctant to actually talk about esports at all. I don't know if any of you guys are like me, who are very skeptical about esports, not to mention it's on mobile. But after I started reading into the data, I started getting convinced that a few things. One is the mobile game industry is stagnating, and we need help. We need more activities. We need different ways of engagement. We need more competition between players. So whether you call them Battle Pass or PUBG, or you call them MOBA, or you call them esports on mobile, we need new ways to engage players, and sometimes not in a professional way. We're not talking about professional esports athletes. We're maybe talking about more casual amateur players. Okay, so it's going to be a mix to talk about Chinese market. We're going to talk about esports globally, and we're going to talk about esports mobile in China. Okay. This is not working anymore. Can we use this? Oh. Just give it to this page. Okay, thanks. Okay. So let's look at Chinese mobile games market. From 2018, 2019, and the rest is pretty much forecast. And this is a number of mobile gamers in China. And esports revenue, this is in billions of dollars in 2018, and it's forecast to reach 10 billion in 2020. And this is prize pool, and gamers playing mobile esports tournaments. Right now, it's only 10% of the players are engaging in esports activities. And these are number of gamers in China who are playing mobile games. So look at the penetration. 95% of gamers in China are playing mobile games. So although we're seeing a resurgence of PC gaming in China, it's supplemental. It's not primary entertainment platform. Mobile is still the biggest entertainment platform for gamers. And global mobile gamers revenue by region. So let's look at global numbers: Asia, excluding China, North America, China, Europe, and so on. And that's 2019, first half, 2018, entire 2018. So you can compare and see the growth. And mobile game segment is still growing quite healthily. Let's see. Okay. Global smartphone penetration rate forecast to be 61% by 2025. I was actually quite surprised to see that the smartphone penetration rate in the global numbers is less than 50%. But that's where we are today, or last year, and we still have a lot of room to grow. And now let's look at China mobile gamer population and revenue growth. In China, there are 598 million mobile gamers in 2018, rising to 728 million by 2023. Chinese domestic mobile game revenue was $15 billion in 2017, up 28.9% from the previous year. By 2023, revenue is forecast to reach 25 billion. In China alone, an estimated 74% of mobile internet users are mobile gamers, though the global ratio is not as high, which means there are more Chinese. In China, more people who own mobile phones, when they play games, they spend more time playing mobile games than other platforms. A rising smartphone penetration rate with mobile gamers is one of the most important use of smartphones. It's begun to shape the esports industry. So you can see that there is no direct correlation why this will benefit esports on mobile. Simply what they're saying is it becomes a very convenient platform for esports to get on. Okay, 95% of gamers in China play mobile games. Despite a temporary game license freeze and the introduction of new regulation under the new regulator, SAPR. We can talk about this a little bit, but this is history now. Basically, there has been a freeze for government license, and it's been lifted. The number of approval rate in China is regulated, but important games are still getting domestic licenses. So we don't see that as a big problem. China's mobile games market grew 28% over the previous year. We talked about that. Tencent and NetEase remains the top 2 mobile game publishers in China. So, instead of the 80-20 rules in China, it's more like 90-10 rule. So the top 2 guys are basically owning most of the market. And most of the games that they have are hardcore or harder core games, like MMORPG, card battle games, PUBG, and other games like PUBG, and so on. So I think there's still a lot of room for casual games, hyper-casual games, and mid-core games. And one thing is about Chinese market, players are willing to pay. 40% of mobile gamers spend money in games, with both ARPU and ARPPU set to increase over the next 5 years. We already see in China a lot of big whales. I mean, there are big whales everywhere, but the number of big whales, I should say the ratio of big whales amongst players, and the amount of money they're willing to pay is crazy, lacking of a more professional term. We have VIP clubs. In my company, we have VIP clubs for people who spend a lot of money, and we had to basically create a different category for very, very important, VIP clubs, just because there are different levels of whales, and some of the top level whales, we actually give them sort of a one-on-one customer service experience, so they don't actually put money in the account. Like instead, they will call someone and give that person his bank account information, and everything is done over the phone with voice on a one-on-one basis. So sometimes this is necessary, not possible. And we do a lot of get-togethers with the whales. So anyway, I just want to say on the sort of tip of the pyramid, for big whales, the management of big whales is a different subject when it comes to China. Okay, mobile esports games rank amongst the top mobile games in 2018. So Honor of Kings, other people know this title as King's Valor, Fantasy Westward Journey, QQ Speed. So these are all mobile esports titles in China, and some of these are online, not in-person tournament. So you can see most of these titles are done by Tencent and NetEase. And by the way, everything in this presentation is provided to me by my friends at Nico Partners, and they provided all of these informations. They've done a good job. And for the past decade, they have been experts in understanding Asia and Chinese markets. Mobile esports games revenue was $5.6 billion in 2018, and the forecast to reach $10 billion by 2020. Esports will precipitate a shift from limited numbers of high-profile, spectator-focused esports, like a lot of you know about Twitch, towards a much larger number of open tournaments carried out regionally and locally. If you pay attention, you'll see that Twitch isn't popular everywhere. It isn't popular in all the regions. It's popular in some regions, but not in all of the regions. And in fact, in different regions, you need a sort of a local flavor media to promote your games differently. Some games, they actually some platforms, they provide API so that games can spit out video streams directly to the platform. In China, there are a couple of esports platforms, but we actually think TikTok may become one of the platforms for esports. In 2018, mobile esports games generate $5.3 billion, and it's 25% of total mobile game revenue, with $5.6 billion from China alone, another $450 million from greater Southeast Asia. PC esports titles earn $16 billion in revenue, and about 40% of the earning coming from China. So PC esports, we're not saying that it's going to decrease, we're just saying we're going to see rise of esports on mobile platforms. And mobile esports revenue share, mobile gamers revenues, this is 2018. And you're gonna see breaking down by regions. Global is about 50 million. And you can see the percentage of this income coming from the entire mobile game revenue. And the growth from 2017 to 2018. I can personally tell you that I've been in the industry for a long time, and when I was very skeptical about esports, let alone esports on mobile, but I'm starting to see a lot of industry veterans starting to move over to mobile esports and actually starting to get ready for mobile esports tournaments, and they join a lot of esports companies. So I'm not discounting what's happening as much as I did before. More gamers on the mobile platform than PC on console combined. So this is very telling. So mobile gamers, the number of mobile gamers is larger than PC and console combined already. 2.53 billion mobile users in the world in 2019, and we estimate 1 billion PC users and 500,000 console gamers. And the distance is going to continue to become greater. But obviously, number isn't everything, right? I mean, a gamer on mobile platform doesn't equate to a gamer on console platform. And they don't also spend the same amount of money. But because of demographic difference, you're going to see different type of games on different platforms. What we believe is mobile game market will continue to grow at a very rapid rate, and it will diversify from hyper-casual to MMORPG. We're going to see a lot more different styles of games on mobile. Most of the innovations are happening on mobile platforms because people are mobile, people are moving all over the place. They don't always stick in their living room or their study room. So we're going to see more and more innovation with mobile gaming platforms. Comparison of PC and mobile esports. So this is PC esports and this is mobile esports. And there's niche and there's mainstream. So genres are FPS, mobile. So these are about the same, battle royale. But on mobile, you see that it's a little bit more diversified. And viewership is mostly male on the PC side. On mobile, it's more gender balanced. Market forces. So it's based on different hardware capabilities. And a lot of PC esports games are older games too. Monetization, global sponsorship, ad platform, but actually, obviously, you have mobile hardware manufacturers on the mobile phone side as well. And arena, specialized, non-specialized arenas, schools, internet cafes. So it's also more diversified, and it's also less intimidating. I mean, for me to go join a PC esports That's just insane because I'm not an 18-year-old. But on mobile, I don't have to appear in person. I can just participate online. So it's very different. And events are few larger events, centralized and limited. And on the mobile side, the trend is many small events, decentralized, and potentially online instead of offline. Okay, and these are the top mobile esports games. And you can see 2018, 2017, 18, and which country they're from. There are a lot of zeros behind these revenue numbers. And if you have any questions, just kind of keep them with you. We'll leave some Q&A time at the end of the speech. So the lower entry barrier to mobile games, I also think this is, I keep repeating that this is important. So we have the lower barrier to entry and a higher install rate in comparison to PC and console games. And this allows for better economics and higher dollar to player value in producing tournaments. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you.